What's going on? It's your boy, Brother L, aka L the Electrician. I'm back with another one. And this one is going to be a relationship hack on how you, as a woman, can get that dream man, can get in pretty much just about any man. This is going to work for just about any man that you want. As long as you're somewhat attractive. All right, you can't just be any old kind of way, looking bummy, thinking you want, or acting with a stink attitude, thinking that you're gonna get any man that you want. All right, if you follow these 5 steps, you literally can count them on one hand. You can get just about any man that you want and keep him long term. Okay, and when I say get any man, I'm not just talking about sexual relationships. Okay, that's another thing too. Let's be clear here. A lot of women confuse long-term relationship or marriage with a fling or a sexual fling or a thing that you got going on where y'all just smashing each other. Okay, it's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm geared towards. Anybody can go out there and get an easy lay. What I'm talking about is once you got the man, how to keep the man long term. All right. So the first thing you got to do, and I'm gonna bring this up first. I wanted to bring this up second, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up first. The first step you got to do is you got to know how to properly choose a man that's geared towards long-term relationships. Preferably, screw that. Let's not say long-term relationship. It's geared towards marriage, because number one, if he's not looking for marriage, then it's going to be short-term. He doesn't have that long-term mindset. So you got to be geared towards marriage. A man that's actively looking for a woman to be married to one day. All right, and the way that you go about choosing this is you have to go towards preferably your father. Now, I know that, especially in black households, about 70% of black people grew up without a father in their household, grew up without a male figure in their household. All right, so if you don't have your father, or if your father is not a good stand-up guy, and you're going to have to find the closest male relative. And when I say this, I'm not just talking about any father, any close male relative either. This has to be a guy that, as far as inwardly, he exhibits the characteristics that you want to find within your man. Okay? So, you can't be trying to ask your father that's been locked up for 30 years, or you can't be talking to your trying to get your opinion of your uncle who's the neighborhood dope dealer. That's not going to work as far as choosing a good mate. All right, you want to find someone to stand up, that's good, to help you, guide you in choosing that mate, that husband that you're looking for. All right, and I say that because a lot of times, so many times, I've heard it of women who argue you tooth and nail that I thought he was good at first, but I got fooled and tricked into it, and really the dude's a monster. Okay, we hear time and time again, especially during legal incidents, especially during sexual assault incidents, where we're like, well, why didn't she just leave? Well, she thought that he was good, right? But then things change, and now she's in a situation where she can't get herself out of. Okay? A lot of times, women have great difficulties with looking past their emotions and looking logically and seeing, is this guy a good fit? When the whole time, your father, your uncles, your brothers is like, leave that man alone. He ain't no good. All right? If you would have listened to them, then you wouldn't have been in a lot of the situations, or the messed up situations as far as the relationships that you had yourself into, if you would have simply listened to your father, your brother, your uncles. All right, so that's why I said that's the first step, is finding a good man, and that's how you're going to find it. You're going to get your father or your closest male relative that best exemplifies the characteristics that you want to find in a man. You want to get them to help you to find that man and to sign off and say, okay, I approve, he's good for you. Okay? You don't want to do it by yourself. You don't want. I know. We live in a modern era where you're strong, independent. You don't need no man. You can do it. You bad all by yourself. I get it. I get it. But when it comes to this, one of the most important decisions of your life, you got to get that male relative, preferably your father, if not the closest male next of kin, that exemplifies the characteristics that you want to find within him. All right. And then he can help you to find a man like that and give you guidance in that. Second is, once you know how to pick them, and this is why I said you got to know how to pick them, because then you want to be able to listen to your man, to take in what he says, to take in what his expectations are, and then you can go ahead and meet those expectations, maybe even exceed those expectations, to where, you know, you're hearing what he likes, you're seeing what he likes, you're knowing what he expects, you're knowing what his favorite foods are, you're knowing what his favorite things to do for fun is, and you basically are catering towards that and helping him to basically live a better life. Okay. So number 2 is listening to your man. Now, I'm not saying, now that's why I went over number 1 first. I was gonna have that number 2, but I put choosing the man first, because I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, well, I've been there, done that. I did that for men. I catered to men. I listened to them. I did everything that I was supposed to do. I bent over backwards, and I still got steamrolled and railroaded by men. Well, that's because you didn't do step 1, which was properly choose a man, preferably with your father or next male of kin. All right. So number 2 is never going to work if you're doing it for the wrong man, because you didn't properly choose as you should have done in step 1. All right. Because if you choose a good man, the proper man, then the proper man is going to be able to talk to you the right way and convey, okay, I guess that's that emotional intelligence that women are looking for, but he's going to be able to obey. I mean, he's going to be able to tell you what it is that he expects in that relationship, what he expects out of his wife, and then you can do those things for him to please him, okay? And that's what's going to help you to win him over, all right? And then the last 3 are very simple. I call it my 3 S's, which is sex, sandwiches, and sweetness. Okay. Now, that sexual part is reserved only for marriage. Okay. I am Christian based. I get it. You guys out there, even you girls out there, you just want to get the nut off so bad, and I get it. But if you can have some sexual discipline and not lay down with everybody you talk to, or everybody you entertain, or even everybody you're in a relationship with, in a serious relationship, because if you can have that much discipline, I'm telling you, it's going to be so much better. But here's a caveat why I bring up sex, because you got to be able to please your husband. If you're withholding sex as a punishment, if you're having a sexless marriage, it's not going to work. If you're withholding sex as a punishment, it's not going to work. If you're acting as if sex is some type of a chore, it's not going to work. If you're sexually not satisfied by your man, and it's not going to work, especially if you don't tell them that, it's definitely not going to work. Okay, so you gotta have the sex game up to par and on fleek. And if it ain't working, tell the man. Yes, it's gonna hurt his ego. Yeah, he's gonna be crushed. It could be the end of the relationship, but if you're dealing with a man that's that soft, to where you let him know, like, look, you gotta step that game up, baby. You know, sweetheart, whatever term you use for your man, You got to step that up. And if he's so butthurt and so soft that he wants to break up the family because of that and not improve, then probably don't need to be with that man anyway. You just dodged the bullet. All right. But let him know if he's not satisfying you sexually, and then but you can't withhold it from him because he's going to get it from somewhere else, and then you're just going to be done with this. All right, so let him know, and then and let him go. Let him know, and then also you got to let him go, because if he doesn't go with you sexually, he's probably going to find it somewhere else. All right, so keep him. So let's go through the first three. Properly choose a man with your father or the next male of kin. Number two is listen to your man, get to know him, listen to what he wants, cater to what he wants, obey to what he wants, because this is a good guy. Why? Because you did step one, and then you did doing step two, obeying him, listening to him, and pleasing him, and then step three, the sex, which is for marriage. And you're not going to withhold it once you do get married. It seems like people do it backwards. They have all the sex before marriage, and then when they get married, they want the women tend to withhold the sex. You're doing it backwards. Withhold the sex before marriage, then have sex during the marriage. Lots of it. Good sex. All right, and then sandwiches. All right, go ahead, feed that man. Like the old women used to say, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Go ahead, feed him. Go ahead and feed him. Learn how to cook. Get a cookbook. Get a cooking channel from YouTube and watch and study that. They're all over that. I've even used YouTube to whip up some dishes myself. So I know you can do it as a woman and go ahead and cook and satisfy your man. And not just for your man too, but you want to be able to feed your children, right? Feed the family. He's bringing the bacon home. You go ahead and dress it up and cook it. All right. And then the last thing is sweetness, which is probably one of the most important things too, because I get it. You strong. You independent. You're a modern woman. You don't need no man. I get it. But you gotta be sweet to him. He wants a womanly woman. He doesn't want a strong, masculine, aggressive man. He wants a strong, feminine. Okay, and when I say strong, I'm not talking about overpowering and stuff. I'm talking about strong in her femininity. A strong, feminine woman, docile, sweet. She speaks softly, and she. You wouldn't know that she was there unless you could smell her or see her or something, you know. And I'm talking about good scent, not odor. All right, but yeah, like you just want that woman to be sweet. When he comes home, he shouldn't be stressed out with the woman yelling and saying, "Oh, you haven't done this yet." You know, give him a good 15-30 minutes, maybe even up to an hour for him to unwind, relax, get the stress off of his feet, take his boots off, whatever the case may be. Then he can get to taking out the trash and lifting this box upstairs or whatever it is that you need done around the house. All right. But if you follow those 5 things, these 5 things, which is properly choosing with the help of your father or male next of kin, then obeying your man and listening to your man and getting to know your man and pleasing and catering to him. Okay, well, we can just sub that as number 2, listening. So number 1, choosing. Number 2, listening. Number 3 is going to be sex. Give him good sex frequently. Sandwiches. Feed your man. Learn how to cook well. Feed the family. And then sweetness. Be nice, feminine, docile, agreeable, cooperative, things like that. So if you still watching, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell to get all the newest videos, and I will see you in the next one. God bless. I want to know what you think in the comment section. I read the comments. Have a good one.